Hello, everyone. I'm Karen Hording, Executive Director and CEO with the Society of Women Engineers here at our We Local conference. I'm sharing the spotlight here with our We Power Hour keynote speaker, Dr. Connie Mariano. Dr. Connie has had a distinguished career in the Navy, as well as 9 years as the White House physician to the President, and now a very successful practice here in Phoenix. Dr. Connie, there were a couple of things from your keynote today that really stuck out, I think, to me and to our audience. One of the things you talked about was speaking with your authentic voice. I think that's sometimes a challenge for women, especially for women early in their career. Can you maybe share with us a little more about that?
It is really the hardest thing to do, but I think somebody asked me, how do I know it's my true authentic voice? And what comes to mind is when you don't have to pretend. Because people can tell if you're sort of making things up or to please them. And it's interesting, as women, we almost have to have permission to say, well, this is what I really feel. It's like we want to apologize. I tell people, don't apologize. Just say, this is my best idea. This is what I really think. And you might find when you do that, other people are actually agreeing. And I would say what you truly believe without any influence from anybody else, or you're trying to please somebody else. And if you speak that way without pretending, I think it may be what people need to hear.
Great. And I want to build off that a little bit with one of the last questions you got from the audience, which was about that's the way we've always done it. And particularly, a lot of our members are younger, early in their career, but I think even when you've been in the profession a while, it can be challenging. So what are your tips for dealing with that's how we've always done it?
I think part of it is recruiting other people who also question what's going on. And I think that's, convincing them that there may be other and better ways, and it's really hard to buck the status quo. But if you start working with people around you, with allies to change their mind, I think sometimes the people who are more senior, if you can make them think it's their idea and convince them, you can make things happen. But it's sort of like almost political in the sense that, hey, what do you think of this? I really think this might work. And if you organize it enough to make it convincing, you really have to be a great salesperson to sell that idea. You can gradually move it and say, we're going to try something different. And if you're in a company that's really into innovation, the hope is that they'll take that on. And
so kind of leverage your network to help push those ideas forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And being a women's organization, we hear a lot about work-life balance and how do you juggle all these things. And you talked about it's okay to ask for help. Can you maybe just elaborate on that a little bit more?
Number one, make sure you've got a partner in your life who will help balance with you. Lots of scheduling, because you got to make sure the kids are covered, the house is covered, and don't be ashamed to say, listen, I need help. I'm going to hire somebody. I'm going to ask friends to help. I'm going to ask family to help me with my kids. And the other thing I think that we tend to do is we beat ourselves up. We feel guilty. Why can't I be here doing this? And you have to realize, what is the best of my talent? Where is that going to go to? Is it the breadwinner for my family? Is it because I love my job? Is it both? And sometimes you find that working full-time and raising kids, you're a great mom because you love what you do at work. And you can really, they have done studies with children who were raised by working moms, and those children tend to be more ambitious, and they look at women with a different attitude because they are more supportive of women in the workplace, because that's how they grew up. But don't beat yourself up because I need to be being home all the time. Absolutely not. To be doing the best you can, and you're really bring in those people to help you.
Yeah. I remember hearing a woman executive speak once, and she talked about doing the things only you can do and outsourcing the rest.
Yes.
And I think that's what you're talking about. What's the value that you bring to your family or your job, and focus on those.
Best serve it by doing what you're doing that way.
And the last thing I wanted to ask you about, which I loved, was when you talked about it's okay to be selfish, and that you have to take care of you if you're going to take care of others.
Absolutely. We do so much for our company, our families, our friends. We're always the last on our to-do list. Make sure you allot time for yourself to have a nice quiet lunch, to get a massage, go shopping. Do what you love to do. And selfish doesn't mean it's going to be bad. It's self-loving. It's okay to love yourself. You would want that for your friends. And if you give that to yourself, you'll be able to generate energy. You can help everybody else.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much for being here. It was truly inspirational.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.